Y'all know what time it is? Back with another one. We're going to call this one, we're going to jump straight into it. The realest channel on YouTube for this real American Pit Bull Terrier history. Yeah, we ain't just going over one type of dog. We're going over all the dogs. It's American Pit Bull Terrier, not just dogs y'all know. You know, we're going to hurt feelings. That's what we do. It's the show and tell channel. This the for the real ones channel. Estrella's Black Bear. Something y'all ain't gonna never see nothing about on no other channel. People that's already followed this channel, y'all already know about this dog a little bit, but I ain't really broke him down and had no video about him. You know, we're gonna talk about all the dogs. And we're gonna show y'all why we talking about these dogs. This is some of the stuff that the blue stuff come from. You see, it's that blackish, sealish color coming down from AKC Amstaff dogs. What is an Amstaff? An American Staffordshire Terrier. What is a Staffordshire Terrier? A Staffordshire Terrier that ain't from America. It's simple stuff now. Simple stuff, y'all. You know, like I said, it ain't no bullies. These ain't bullies. They Amstaff, Staffordshire Terrier crosses. These was the bullies, okay? When I was starting with the dogs and in the dogs, and you know what I'm saying, when the dog stuff was real. Now they make these XL bully crosses, and I don't know how they bred, but they ain't bred like I'm finna show you. But this is the real stuff, okay? Let's get it. He was a UCD AKC champ, U Grand Champ, International Grand Champ. Maybe a pretty important dog. 1981 USA. Black and white. It looked sealish looking color. Okay. His daddy was Jet Boomer. White Rock Jet Boomer. And his mama was Estrella Rogetta de Freja. 1977, 1974. History. Like I'm telling y'all. Classic stuff. Okay? So, why am I showing y'all this dog? Because I just showed y'all Cotton Bullet on the first video. He come from UKC dogs too. I showed y'all the UKC dog that come down off the Kobe stuff, the Kobe cross stuff in that pedigree. They the same dogs, y'all. Blues ain't pit bulls. Blues ain't pit bulls. You don't even know what you're talking about. That's why this the show and tell channel. And I done showed y'all dogs with this color. Go look at my videos. I got puppies that this color and I got puppies this blue. Coming out the same litter. Pedigrees up there if you want to go through the pedigrees. You want to go through the videos, I got that too. All right. So we gonna go ahead and break old Black Bear down. Here's another picture of old Black Bear. Good looking dog. They ain't bullies. Number 3 producing sire UKC in 2001. Number 3. Y'all think that's kind of important? UKC. Y'all ever heard of UKC? I already showed y'all UKC before. Same stuff that's coming down from your dogs and your pedigree when you read the pedigrees. It's going to have some UKC dogs back there. If it's some real stuff, because that's where they come from. Somebody left something on my video on my other channel talking about on my blue pit bulls. Those aren't pit bulls. I tried to be calm. I said, hey man, I got a channel. Look at this channel. I'll go over and explain everything to you so you won't keep making a fool of yourself. Because like I said, all blues may not be pit bulls, but mine are. Like I said, you got to know how to read a pedigree and see what you're talking about. You can't just look at all blues and say, oh, that ain't a pit bull. Some of them ain't, but some of them are. You got to know how they bred, and you got to have the eye for it and see what they come from. Some of them, been crossed with some bully stuff and been, tainted up a little bit, and that's why people get to saying that mess. But you don't know. You could be looking at one that really is a real bulldog and come from it. You gotta know what you're looking at. That's what the pedigrees is for. That's why they called papers with documentation, so you can know what you're looking at and know what they're coming from. You don't know if your stuff in the 10th generation, their stuff in the 20th. That's why it looked like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it might go over some people's head, but anyway. Number 3, producing UKC in 2001. They only been seen 20,000 times. Ain't been seen that long. But ain't nobody got this stuff like that. This is the same stuff that's making the Razor's Edge stuff and the Gotti stuff, some of the Gotti stuff. Well, particularly the Gotti stuff for sure is these dogs is in his pedigree. We'll go over it later, but we had 6 minutes, so we try to keep it at a certain. Like I said, I know y'all attention span, so because y'all, like I said, it's information. This ain't foolery, so it ain't as interesting. And a lot of people ain't got a chance to feed none of this because they too cheap to buy it or ain't gonna spend the money on it or whatever. And it ain't interesting to them. But for the people that are interested, that's what I'm doing this for. The real ones, this channel only for the real ones. That's in the real history. So you see the AKC champ, White Rock Jet Boomer. He's OFA. I showed y'all the picture. And Rocha Day CDX. Grand Champ Estella's Fragile. So I showed you their picture too a while ago. But I like this pedigree because you can see it better with the quarters and quarters. And let's just see what's making up old Black Bear. The number 3 producing UKC sire in 2001. Pretty important probably. Same UKC that some of your dogs come from when you look through the pedigrees. And then it comes to the AKC stuff. Okay. All the ruffian, the chaff ruffian stuff, the champ Indian Doc. A lot of ruffian skybolt stuff. That ruffian stuff was the classic stuff back in them days for them bulldogs and the AKCs, for them Staffshire, Amstaff terriers. That's what AKC deal with those. They don't call them pit bulls. They call them, they do the Amstaff share. They stay out of that pit bull stuff. But everybody that feed this stuff know these bulldogs, and they will hurt feelings. Now, this is for entertainment and educational uses only. Some of this stuff may be true, some of this stuff may not be true, but it's entertainment and educational purposes only. But yeah, these are classic bulldogs still. They just show dogs. They putting them in shows. But if you think this thing right here can't do no damage, you slow, and I see why the pit bull world is in the world that it's in. Because this is a bulldog. It ain't no bully. It's just an Amstaff Staffshire Terrier cross. It's closer to the real stuff that was imported before it turned into American Pit Bull Terriers. Alright. So we got more Ruffin, Gray Boy of Harwin. We got the Champ G's Dismissal. the Tadora. And the Champ Fanny, AKC. All right, so I don't know how all these pictures may be in here, maybe not, but we're gonna go to the pictures because we had 8 minutes. So if y'all want to say, dang, they ain't got the pictures of them, yeah, I got them. Just keep a tune. If you into it, if you ain't, I understand. All right, let's look at White Rock. Owner, doctor. That was a Dr. Richard that owned him. Pasco. A doctor owned him. Money. See what I'm saying? Real bulldog stuff. For into the shows and into quality dogs that look a certain way, and these were the real bullies. Okay? All this AKC champ stuff. More Ruffin. Jolly Camp Blue Guard. But yeah, that was the daddy. White Rock Jet Boomer. OFA. AKC. Registered. Then we got the mama right here. Come off Red Rocket Skillet, AKC champion too, and bar none, Estrella's Bonita. All right, come off that Champ Sky King stuff. I mean, these names is hard to produce because, like I said, these people, these uppity people, probably, you know what I'm saying? They and out of this country and stuff. You know, these imported dogs, these, you know, it's a different level of bulldogging, but they don't mean they ain't bulldogging. Because you don't know nothing about it, it don't mean they ain't bulldogging. They're just doing a different way of It's different ways of bulldogging, y'all. Ain't just one way. You know. All right, so let's look at some pictures here, cause we at 10 minutes. All right. See that fawn in black? Made that. I got dogs with all these colors. Or I done sold them or whatever, you know, whatever. I done made them. So you ain't just listening to somebody talking and reading books. I got this stuff with videos and receipts to pull it up. So let's look at the sixth generation of what he is. All right. Look at these bullies. AKC champ, 1949. Just about in the sixth generation right there. We going down. Jolly Camp. There go Jolly Camp. Blue guard. Bluish brindle probably looking dog probably. There's some more jolly stuff. Look at these bullies now. Blues ain't pit bulls. Blues ain't pit bulls. Learn how to read a pedigree and do your research. Stop listening to people. You got a real one on the internet now. AKC champ. Ruffian dog. Tigress. Gray boy of Harwin. Probably bluish. That's why they call him gray. Call him gray. Look at that bully. They all cut their ears like that to make their ears stand up. I'm not an ear cutting fan, but that's what they did with them Amstaff and Staffordshire Terriers back in the day. Same pit bulls. They just cut their ears and stood them a certain way. See, that looked just like a game dog. Gallett's Roof. 1949. More ruffian stuff. Hercules. There go Hercules right there. All these is champions and AKC champions, and see what I'm saying? It ain't just regular dogs. Some of them are regular, but they still probably super. You know, they just probably didn't show them or didn't want to show them or whatever, you know. There go Ruffian Dreadnought. Expert Rascal as a puppy. Or him in the back one, I don't know, but probably him as a puppy right there. He like me, I put my puppies in there, and then you see him as grown up later in the. There go Roddy Rascal. Gallet Lady. Look at these bullies. Blitz. Blues ain't pit bulls. Blues ain't pit bulls. More rough and stuff. They ain't got no pictures for them. They ain't got pictures for everything. Night Cruiser, 1955. Blue Tango. Look at that blue coming in there right there. Blues ain't pit bulls. There's more inbred off that stuff right there. That's why you see it again. This the sixth generation. Like I said, when you just looking at 3 and 4 generations, you ain't gonna know it's inbred. Ace. High Ace. More Ruffin stuff. Ruffin stuff was running stuff back in the day. He about like was Kobe in the in these Amstaff worlds. You know what I'm saying? 1952. So y'all don't know nothing about this because nobody don't feed this stuff. Nobody ain't gonna talk about it. You feed it and you know about it, you can talk about it. Archer's Dixie. And then look at my dogs and then look at these dogs. And mine are going to be closer to the pit bull Cause I breed mine like I want to. I'm not trying to make them look bully and like this and Amstaffy and Staffshire. They're not. That's not what they are. They're pit bulls now. They're American pit bull terriers. They Williams bloodline dogs. But this is what they come from, and you can see it in the dogs. And if you want to turn them into this, you could. If you want to give them stuff, bully max, and turn them into whatever. You can make them like you want to make them. Buy them as a puppy, and you feed them like you want to feed them, and make them like you want to make them. I'm a natural person. I like for them to be natural. That's just my style. But yeah, these are the pictures. Dixie, Naughty. Okay. Susie. Night Cruiser again. Blue Tango again. Inbred. You start seeing it the same way. They got them on top and bottom. Skyboat. There go Rascal again. So yeah, Blitz again. So they were inbreeding these dogs too. Still winning shows and stuff with them. Sugarfoot. Now you tell me that's a bully. Come on, man. You don't think that dog is a bulldog. You don't think he can do nothing. Well, it's zombie land out here, boy. Learn to read a pedigree. I'm still rolling now. I'm just in the 6th generation too. But you can see how it's inbred when you still. This right here is like the 6th, the 5th, the 4th. You see how it's going down? Indian Doc right there. He's a champion. So that was the Indian Doc. More Dixie. See, it's inbred. Same stuff. Kimbo right there. More Dixie. 1967. Archers. There go Blue Tango again. See, it's inbred. There go Bonita. And there go Fraser. And there go Black Bear. See? Show and tell. Alright. So we at 17 minutes. So that's all I want to show y'all. This the Pit Bull Terrier History channel. So it ain't just gonna be about dogs y'all know. I'm gonna show y'all history and show y'all stuff. Alright, so that pedigree is more for the pictures. This is where you can kind of take it back at. So let's click a couple of these names. Let's take it back a little bit. Let's do a little homework for people that like to do homework. This Indian Doc. We've seen a lot of this Indian Doc, right? Okay. Amstaff. Ode. Oh, he might know what he's talking about. I feed it. Of course I do. Brindle. Look just like a bulldog. There go the Jolly Camp stuff. There go the Ruffian stuff. In the 4th generation. 3rd generation. It's unknown stuff, but y'all seen them. I showed them to you. That's why I showed them to you, the pictures of these dogs on how they bred, because it's unknown up here, but I just showed them to you. You see? If the information is as right as it can be, but it's what it is what we're going off of. So this ain't the rumor channel. This is what's documented. Some of this stuff may be right, maybe not be right, but it's documented this way. So that's that Champ Indian Doc right there. Another picture of him. They do have different pictures though, so that's good. Okay. Let's look at let's see, Indian Doc inbred right there and right there. So let's look at, Gray Boy. Same Jolly stuff, the Blue Gorge stuff. See how it's inbred. AKC champion, AKC international champion. Ruffian, you see? These was bulldogs too. These was important dogs. AKC international champ, pretty important. rough and stuff. With the blue smoke. And this Champ Detroit is in a lot of stuff. Champ Tuffy of Detroit. You know, a lot of stuff. AKC champion. Coming off the Hearts and Black Bonnie. Unknown. Then you see what? Look at Tudor. Is that Tudor King? Blues ain't pit bulls. Blues ain't pit bulls. Why you going over this stuff? Learn to read a pedigree. Tudor's King in the 4th generation. Whoa, Tudor's Blackjack, 16-time winner. Show and tell. So if y'all made it this long and y'all didn't seen through the video, it's just more checkmate. Just more for people to, y'all notice people ain't in the comments and ain't in stuff talking about blues ain't pit bulls no more. Y'all notice that kind of done died down. Because like I said, I told y'all, they tell on themselves. Even y'all heroes don't know stuff like this. I don't get it. People used to tell me all the time, man, why you breeding blues and game dogs? They the same thing, you nutso. They just bred differently. They closer to the original stuff that was imported. And I know firsthand because I've dealt with them, so I know I've seen stuff to know that they the same thing. Like I told you, it's information and educational uses only. I just ain't talking. Y'all slow. The people that ain't caught on yet. I know a lot of y'all done caught on, and I appreciate it. But the people that ain't caught on, I mean, I'm just a person with it and showing it to you and showing you the receipts with the papers and the dogs and everything. The puppies being born. I mean, what more you need? Tudor's Blackjack. Okay, Earl Tudor. The same Earl Tudor in y'all classic dogs. Okay, the Kobe stuff. The imported Roger. Okay? So that's all I want to show y'all. I'm going to end it on that. Do your research and learn how to read pedigrees. But that's why, when y'all wonder if y'all stayed to the end, why he going over this dog? This is the American Pit Bull Terrier History Channel. Because you see what he come from. That's what he is. He just bred a different way. And it was took a different way. They was in this type of dogs. They were making this type of dogs for this type of show dogs. But they still come off the same stuff. Just bred differently. Alright? Class is out of session. Peace.